Let's talk once more again about the moment of stuttering. It's very crucial to have discipline. Some people who start to overcome stuttering either want to get rid of it. They can approach this process. So, for example, they were given tools to solve it, and not everything should come together at once. This has never happened anywhere before in any other place. Why? Because for illustration, let's take a basic example of a guy, just to clarify. He went to the gym, he can squeeze 50 kilograms there for reps, they're 80 for one. Lifting 100 right away is risky. Start at 50 and increase gradually. Considering that he sees his peer who has already been lifting 100, maybe even 120 for some time, he might think, oh, I can do that too, but it will crush him. He needs to take it step by step. So first 50, then work up to 70, maybe 80, gradually adding 2.5 or 5 kilograms over the course of 1, 2, or 3 months. This is in sports. In speech. This is in sports. In speech, the situation is similar. Why? Because if you immediately compare yourself to a normally speaking person like a relative, a friend, a neighbor, or a colleague, it doesn't matter. If you just meet a stranger on the street, you have to take into account that he has a good speech about passing. He didn't have speech blocks, he didn't have logophobia, he didn't have tension, he didn't have any of that. No matter how much of that same nightmare that you experienced on a practically daily basis, he didn't have all of that. Naturally, he has a well-developed automatic skill to speak normally, and it's important to understand that you can reach a similar level of skill too. But again, considering that on average people have been stuttering for 10, 15, or even 20 years, none of this happens in a week. It takes time, but with 2 to 3 months of working on yourself, you can make significant progress. But again, considering that on average people stuttered there, even people come to me from 10 years old, then 15, 20 years old. So, none of this happens in a week. It takes, time, but with 2 to 3 months of working on yourself. This means that, for example, if someone has mild stuttering, we can work on it for a month, and then I'll just be there to support and monitor their progress. Yes, just guiding them through it. And in 2 to 3 months of working on themselves, even with a severe degree of stuttering, they can make significant progress. So that means, for example, if someone has mild stuttering, we can work on it for a month, and then I'll just be there to support and monitor their progress. Yes, just keep guiding them, and in 2 to 3 months of working on themselves, even with a severe degree of stuttering, they can make significant progress. You can get very close to the results of a person who has never stuttered in their life. You can stutter less there. You can reduce stuttering by 90%, so that your level of fluent speech is around 80 to 90. Maybe even 95%, sometimes even more. You were 100% right, you just said it. The airflow didn't get stuck. You weren't thinking about it. You weren't thinking about what to do. And everything is great, good, normal, exactly what's cool, just normal. Because people who usually speak normally don't brag about it. For them, it's just an everyday thing, like a new one. Anyone, maybe any unemployed kid could be a normal guy. Yeah. Oh, at first, when you're doing well, actually, for us, this will be awesome. You should definitely align your feelings, but it's just a regular thing like getting up and going, what's the news? It's like brushing your teeth, well, good for you. That's absolutely a good mindset. For example, when a person who comes to the course says they're giving themselves time, like from 3 to 6 months to work on their speech. Some of my students said exactly that, and they had very good results. And despite that, the almost maximum results, the pre-maximum results, they were already achieved in the first month. Somewhere around 2 months. So, not 6 months, but it's better to set a higher bar for yourself in terms of time, without limiting your time resources. Don't put yourself in that box. So, I feel like I have to completely get rid of stuttering from the very first day or within a week, or at least by the end of the month. And never experience this again in order to really get rid of the stone to the maximum. You need a colossal amount of experience that will outweigh the stuttering experiences you've had before. Because if you've stuttered for 20 years with 10, 100 or more blocks a day, then you need at least a significant amount of experience. You can also speak without stuttering, but again, it's not 20 years of experience. So there shouldn't be any equality like, I stuttered for 20 years, so I'll need 20 years to get rid of it. But at least in your mind, you should have a picture of 2 to 3 months. This relates to the stages, and it's no secret that successful people, athletes, achieve their success, most of them, due to discipline and consistent targeted actions towards their success. That's the only way to achieve great things. They found their success, most of them, precisely because of discipline and consistent, yet targeted actions towards their success. That's the only way to achieve great things. Basically, and normal speech is no exception here. More patience and of course more faith, because without believing in yourself, nothing will work out. If I hadn't believed in myself before, hadn't believed in my success, hadn't believed that I could overcome my stuttering. My former stuttering was complex, really severe, and I experienced it daily. I could freeze for up to 5 seconds, and I really tried to shake myself and force myself to do all of this. It's terrifying to remember, but it was even more embarrassing in front of the class, where the boys and girls were watching, thinking I was some kind of speech-disabled person. Yes, even back then I had faith that this wouldn't always be the case, that I would get better, that I could do it. Without this, and even if I end up stuttering at a level of 15, I won't let it stay there. Next, I will be able to learn how to do this, meaning I had faith and I had results. Because without faith, there will either be no results or they will be mediocre. Believe in yourself. Besides that, take the right step-by-step actions, and this will definitely bring positive results.